Welcome to Shobbs Health and Wellness Podcast. My name is Siraj and I am the host of this podcast. So firstly, I want to apologize. I'm sorry for not showing up on this podcast. A lot of people reach out to me saying, Shobbs, what's happening? You've not released any episode. And I'm like, it's not really easy for me to balance the whole thing. I have a lot of things trying to balance, a lot of things, and I also want to show up on my podcast. But then I'm back. I'm showing up today. Thank you so much for listening and joining me on this episode. Yes, I have a guest on the show, and we'll be talking about peptic ulcer. But the main focus is on the natural remedy on how to heal your peptic ulcer. So this episode is for those that already have pep ulcer and they're looking for ways that you can manage your peptic ulcer with your diet. And those are the things we are going to be talking about on this episode. So please stay tuned till the end of this podcast because I have a gift for you at the end of the podcast. I'm sure you're excited about it. Yay! All right. So, Esther, thank you so much for joining me on this episode today. Please, can you just give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Thank you very much. My name is Esther Obiniche. I'm a registered nurse and I'm also a certified fruit therapist. Yes, I'm into nutrition and I went into fruit therapy because I discovered that there are so many things that are making people to have different health conditions that can be prevented. And many of these things you may not be told in the hospital. And sincerely, even as a medical personnel, there's actually many medical personnel that they may not have adequate knowledge about all this and they may not be able to tell you this. So I'm very passionate about passing the right information about nutrition, to people to help them prevent illnesses. The major thing that even made me go into it because I lost one of a very close loved one to cancer, and it made me. And she didn't want to do chemotherapy or radiotherapy because she knows how aggressive it can be on the body. And I knew that with nutrition, cancer can be prevented or avoided. It can be prevented or it can even be managed. The right knowledge. So that made me to really go into nutrition because I was hungry for knowledge to learn more about all this. And I'm still learning. It's not like I know it all, but I've been able to gather, some level of information, both that have been tested and trusted basically on nutrition. And I streamlined into fruits, uses of fruits, vegetables, water therapy. That's just a short introduction about me.
Thank you so much for that. Let's get right to the topic. So, what exactly is ulcer?
Okay, so ulcer is basically a wound. Yeah. So, because many times when people hear about ulcer, they feel it's only in the stomach. No, there can be ulcer anywhere, even within the body and out of the body. If you see a wound on it, you see some people have ulcer on their foot, So it's not just inside the body. Ulcer basically deals with a wound. Now, peptic ulcer is a sore or a wound that develops on the lining of the stomach. And basically, it can be caused by different things. The lining of the stomach is protected by a mucus layer. So that mucus layer helps to protect the lining of the stomach because we have gastric acid. We have acid in our body, and that acid in our body, which is in the stomach, helps in digestion of food. Without the acid, your food will not be properly digested. So that's why we need that. But God has also put the mucus layer inside the stomach. That is at the wall of the stomach, so that even when this acid is helping to digest the food, it doesn't affect the wall of the stomach. So by the time one thing or the other is maybe the mucus layer is being affected due to one reason or the other, then you start finding that it's as if the mucus layer is not strong enough to be able to withstand the effect of the acid. And before you know it, it starts affecting the wall of the stomach. It starts developing wound gradually. And it doesn't just happen like that. It starts gradually. That's why we usually advocate for healthy lifestyle, because it's when if you are breaking the rules of nature or the rules of nutrition, that's when this ulcer can start gradually, and the wound can, get bigger. And any small thing the person eats, spicy food or, things that trigger ulcer, the person takes it, the person starts having serious pain. So basically, that's what peptic ulcer is. And majorly, another thing I want to stress is that peptic ulcer is caused by a particular bacteria called Helicobacter pylori. It's like a bacterial infection. So that bacteria, it affects the covering, that mucosal layer. It affects it, and it also attacks the wall of the stomach, causing a wound there.
Thank you so much for that. You hear people say that pep ulcer is actually caused by fasting. Some people tell you, oh, it's because you've not eaten. You do need to eat. That's why you have ulcer. You have to eat well. So what would you say about that?
Okay, well, there are so many things that causes peptic ulcer.
Okay.
Basically, the bacterial infection, that's the Helicobacter pylori in the stomach, eroding or affecting the mucosal layer and also affecting the wall of the stomach, and also when the gastric acid, the effect of gastric acid on the stomach. So is one does not eat well, but basically that's where I'll even start talking about the power of water therapy, because some people, when they fast, they don't take water, they don't take food, so their stomach is just there, and before you know it, and there's always gastric acid in the stomach, whether you like it or not. So if you don't eat well, if you don't take enough water, yes, the gastric acid can actually affect the stomach and actually cause ulcer.
Okay. Are you saying that for individuals that does not eat well and also take water very well, enough water, it can actually cause peptic ulcer?
Yes. But also it depends on what you are eating, because eating well, some people may not have the right definition of eating well.
Okay.
Eating well is talking about eating, the right foods, healthy food. So health, eating well, emphasis on healthy food. Because there's some food that can actually trigger ulcer.
So what are the food? Anyway, we'll get to that aspect. Food that actually triggers ulcer. So what are the causes? I just wanted to mention it.
So the first one I've mentioned over and over again is still Helicobacter pylori, which is a bacteria. Okay. The bacteria affects the mucosal layer of the stomach and also affects the wall of the stomach. That's the first thing. Then the second one is frequent use of anti-inflammatory drug. That is why most times when we want to take drug, they will tell you make sure you eat well low. In fact, if you are taking some drug, they will tell you take it with food. Some drug they will say take after food. All those things, they have their effects. They don't just tell you because they just want to tell you. No, there are specific reasons why you are told take this one with food. For example, if you want to take ibuprofen, you want to take diclofenac, aspirin, all those drugs are anti-inflammatory, and you are not supposed to take them on empty stomach, because by the time you take them, in fact, you yourself, you won't feel comfortable after some time, because the drug will start affecting the wall of the stomach if there's no food in your stomach. And especially that's why another thing is, in fact, for those that have ulcer, they'll tell you don't take this particular drug because it's to trigger the ulcer pain. Yes, because those anti-inflammatory drugs actually affect the wall of the stomach, especially if you don't eat very well when you take them. That's another cause of ulcer. Smoking and alcohol, those ones, in fact, they cause so many diseases. They affect the body. They cause a lot of issues, not just ulcer. They cause cancer, so many diseases. I will not go much into that. Then also, another reason why one can have ulcer is when the person has stomach cancer. The person will just be having frequent, pain, because already the cells of the stomach, the cells that makes up the stomach, there's already a mutation, normal multiplication of those cells. The cells are multiplying abnormally, so they are not operating the way they are supposed to operate anymore. So also gastric acid itself will also increase. The amount of gastric acid in stomach will increase beyond what is even required. Stomach or cancer also can, cause ulcer. So those are the other causes, but those are the basic causes of ulcer. And I've also emphasized on healthy, foods, unhealthy food. Eating some foods that can trigger it. Those ones too can also cause ulcer.
Some people still don't really know, like those that have not been diagnosed yet, they just feel like, oh, when I feel pain in my stomach, maybe it's ulcer. Like different people just be giving them idea of what are the symptoms of peptic ulcer.
Symptoms of peptic ulcer basically deals with stomach pain.
Okay.
There are different types of ulcer. There's peptic and duodenal ulcer. So where you feel the pain too matters a lot. If you feel the pain before you eat or after you eat matters a lot. So you understand. So feeling pain before food, you'll feel a lot of pain. Some people people, they feel like vomiting.
Okay.
They just, some people may feel nauseous, like, they feel like some people actually even vomit. That's to show you they have ulcer. And another way one can know is by doing a test. The symptoms of ulcer, number one, when the person has a like a burning pain in the stomach. Yes, peptic ulcer, that will be at the upper part of the stomach. So when the person has that burning pain, and most times you notice that when you take an antacid is a group of drugs that is usually used for ulcer. So when the person takes the drug, the person gets a relief. Then the other person actually has ulcer. Also bloating. When the person has ulcer, the person can be bloating. The person will feel like the food he or she has eaten did not digest properly, and the stomach is, protruded, or there's a lot of gas in the stomach. It can be very uncomfortable. So that's also, part of the symptoms. Also, I've talked about nausea. Nausea is the feeling as if you want to vomit, but you're not actually vomiting. So you just have that feeling. Yeah, and some people actually vomit too. So either ways, both of them are symptoms of ulcer. And there may even be some extreme cases where the person even starts losing weight, and the pain becomes more severe, or the person starts having dark or black stool. That's because of, when one has wound, there's blood. Sometimes you see blood on, at the point of the wound, or sometimes even blood, you may see blood coming out. So it's possible that the ulcer may even be bleeding to show in the person's stool. You see that the person's stool will either be dark. That's the, part of the symptoms. So,
all right.
We have gastric ulcer and duodenal ulcer.
Okay.
Gastric is in the stomach, duodenal is in the, small intestine.
Yeah.
I don't even understand what I'm saying.
Yes, okay.
So most times when the person does not eat, the pain you feel because you've not eaten, that's gastric ulcer. But some people, when they actually eat, that's when they start feeling that pain. That's for those ones that they have duodenal ulcer. And then also when the pain is the upper part abdomen, that's where the stomach is. Yes, that's gastric ulcer.
Okay.
When the pain is at the middle or lower part of the abdomen, that's duodenal ulcer. So there are other ways, but basically those are two, very common ways to find out which ulcer, where the ulcer basically is located.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. So now let's just go straight into the natural remedy. What do you think that people need to start doing to heal their ulcer naturally?
Yeah. Okay. The first thing I'm going to talk about will be water therapy. Many people, yes, we know water is very important in our body, but you may not know the extent to which water is very important. Now, when one is dehydrated, the body tries to send water to the most vital organs. Talking about the brain, the heart, the kidney, making sure that they are well hydrated for the body to continue functioning. Okay. So other areas, the body may restrict or reduce the amount of water going to other areas, not because they are not so important, but there are other vital organs that need the water more. So by the time that happens, the digestive system may get less amount of water.
Yeah.
And when that happens, because the mucosal layer of the stomach is made up of over 90% water. If the person is not well hydrated, before you know it, the mucosal layer will not be as thick as it should be. And whenever there's gastric acid, because whether you like to know, there's gastric acid in your stomach. So whenever the gastric acid has contact with the mucosal layer will not be strong enough to withstand the effect of that gastric acid, and gradually it starts eroding or affecting the mucosal layer till it has access to the stomach lining itself. And if it happens over and over and over and over again, before you know it, that gradually a sore or a wound start developing on the stomach lining. Okay. Over time, because most times ulcer does not just happen overnight. It happens as a result of constant, unhealthy lifestyle, constantly, and which not taking a very good amount of water is one of them. And basically, I usually advise that people should take at least 2.5 to 3 liters per day. Especially we in Nigeria, where we are exposed to a lot of sun, a lot of water to stay hydrated. In fact, when you go about your daily activities, you may be really stressed, you are using a lot of energy, you need to keep being hydrated. So our advice, we take out about 2.5 to about 3 liters of water per day. That's to ensure that your whole body system, because majority of our body is made up of water.
Yes.
Without water, you cannot survive for long. You can still survive for food, at least for a while, but you can't survive for a long time without water. So it's very important for you to take water. So dehydration can actually cause ulcer. So that's the first thing. Natural therapy, emphasis on water therapy, very important. I started practicing about over a year. I got this water bottle, and inside the water I put cucumber. Whenever I want to go to work, I'll make sure I put cucumber very well. I'll put cucumber, put it inside. I'll be drinking, Whenever the water is almost finishing, I add more water to that bottle. That's another form of water therapy. In fact, that's another form of fruit water therapy.
So what's the effect of that cucumber in the water?
Oh, it does a lot. The water is extracting the cucumber juice itself.
Okay, naturally, just being in the water.
Yes. I know there are a lot of antioxidants. In fact, cucumber alone is number one fruit I usually recommend for ulcer patients. So that one alone is enough to, there are people that have been cured of ulcer just by taking cucumbers as breakfast for a while.
Wow.
Just with cucumber.
Yeah.
So that's how cucumbers are very good for ulcer. Very, very good.
Okay.
That's water therapy. Okay, then I want to emphasize is probiotics. Probiotics is very, very important. And it talks about good bacteria. Whether we like it or not, we have bacteria in our body. Both the ones that are good and the ones that are bad. Now, the one that will determine whether we'll come down with an infection or not, to determine whether we have enough good bacteria to fight any bad bacteria that invade our system. But you have bacteria in our body. Even in the stomach lining, we also have good bacteria. One of them, lactobacillus. And that's why if you check the container of Greek yogurt or some yogurt, you see lactobacillus there. Yes, it's usually made fermentation. Sorry.
Yes. All right.
Probiotic, basically from fermented food. One very common one is sauerkraut, and that one is made from cabbage. So basically, I'm not going cabbage. It's usually made from cabbage. So I may not go into so much details on how to make it, but basically, what they do is slicing cabbage, putting it in a glass jar, then putting a tablespoon of salt, preferably Himalayan salt, that's sea salt. Okay. Because that's another thing we usually emphasize in nutrition. We try to encourage the use of pink salt. Sea salt instead of normal white salt. Why? Because the pink salt has a lot of nutrients in it. The normal salt we use has majorly sodium. Why the pink salt or sea salt, it has sodium, magnesium, it has a lot of nutrients in it. So even for those that have tension, they'll tell you reduce your salt intake. That's because what is majorly inside the salt? Yes, it's majorly sodium. But if you want to use a salt and the salt has magnesium, potassium, all those magnesium and potassium, they are even very good for the heart. So you understand? So if you want to recommend a salt, just put a tablespoon of pink salt, sea salt, inside it. After cover it with like a cheesecloth, leave it to ferment for about 3 days. But to get more step-by-step process of making it, you can just check online. You'll see more details on how to make it. So that's probiotics. I've talked about sauerkraut. I also talk about Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is also very good because it's usually made from fermented food, basically milk. But Greek yogurt is very, very, very good. The only problem some people have with Greek yogurt is that it's usually made, some people say people that make it, they use the milk that has a lot of fat in it. So that may be a problem. You can make it at home. It's actually very simple to make. It's also very, very good. And there are also other yogurts that have gone through the fermentation process. So which one you take, it gives your body the probiotics that is needed.
Another thing I want to say about this Greek yogurt, you made mention of Greek yogurt and other yogurt that people can buy.
Yes.
But then the point is, the so-called Greek yogurt, are they really real Greek yogurt? Because we have a lot of labels that they will write Greek yogurt and natural stuff or no added sugar. But by the time you take the ingredients in it, you see that there are a lot of things that they have in yogurt that actually not really, really healthy.
The truth is, you can't really tell because we're not there when they were making it, so you can't vouch for any products because you are not actually there. That's why I recommended making it at home. It's not actually hard. It's actually very simple. Making it at home. But preferably go for the soya kraut using cabbage, and it's something you can do at home. No, it doesn't taste like yogurt, but it will go through a fermentation process, which will provide your body with the probiotics needed. But it doesn't taste like yogurt. Yeah, so the probiotics basically contains a lot of good bacteria that will help to fight that Helicobacter pylori that is causing ulcer in the stomach or in the intestine. So basically, that's what that probiotic or good bacteria does. Just helps to fight it. But if the bad bacteria is now more than the good bacteria, that's when you start seeing infection. You see the person may even be purging, having vomiting and all that. That's for probiotics. And another thing I'm going to talk about is the use of fruit juices, smoothies, and fruit teas. Fruit juices is when you use a juicer. Some people mistaken smoothies and juices. For juices, you get a juicer and you to extract the juice from the fruit. But for smoothie, you're not extracting juice. Both the juice and the fiber, you blend it together. So that's just the difference between juices and smoothies. So for the smoothies, you can use a smoothie maker or a blender to do that. For the fruit juice, you use a juicer for that. So either ways. But it depends on when you want to take the fruits and the type of fruits. If you are taking it at night, I usually advise you take juices at night. Because that one, it just gets so easily absorbed by the body. The body doesn't need to go through more process, to digest the fiber and all that. You just get the way water will just be absorbed. That's the same way the juice will get easily absorbed by the body. And when at night, your digestive system does not need too much stress at all. But in the morning, you can take smoothies. At night, take juices. That's what I advise. Then fruit teas too, also very, very good. Very good. I'm going to list out some fruits that are good for ulcer. The first one I have mentioned is cucumber. Very, very good for ulcer. There are people that just with cucumber alone, they've been healed from, ulcer. So cucumber, number one. Second one, cabbage. I mentioned cabbage before too. So not just meat as soya kraut. So some people, you can juice the cabbage juice. Cabbage juice is very, very good for ulcer. So cabbage, cucumber, carrot, beetroot, garlic. Garlic. One thing about garlic is a very powerful antibiotic. So it helps to fight the Helicobacter pylori. That's what the garlic does. But ensure that your garlic is not too much, because if you take too much garlic, you start having gas, you start farting and all that. So to avoid those, and some people even have, start having this odor that comes out from their mouth. Garlic. You're gonna take garlic. You want to blend with other fruit. Preferably when you want to take garlic, let it be with other fruit. Just take a little. You can just cut half of one clove, put it in your juice it together with your other fruits or your smoothies. Very good. Then ginger is also very good. Ginger also has antibacterial properties, very good for ulcer. Apples, but preferably red apples, not green apples, because green apples is quite acidic. It can actually trigger the ulcer pain. So red aloe vera too, that aloe vera gel, very, very good. In fact, the aloe vera gel, it looks like mucus, the way, the mucus like a mucosal layer, how jelly it is.
Yes.
So it's also very, very good. Also, avocado pear too, very, very good. In fact, avocado pear is a superfood. It has a lot of nutrients, a whole lot of nutrients in it. It works for so many things. Avocado pear, very good. Banana is also very good. Bell peppers, different colors, green, red, yellow. Bell peppers are also very good. Vegetables like kale, spinach, also very good. Broccoli, also very good. Then turmeric. Turmeric is also a good spice. And most times, all these spices, you don't need to even juice it. You can just add it to your meal. Turmeric, ginger, garlic, those are things you can add to your meal. They are very nice spices. Apart from just ulcer, they do a lot of things in your body that you may not even be aware of. So those are also very good. So these ones, you can either make them as smoothies. Select the ones that you know that your body, can go along with very well. So smoothie, you can make them as smoothie, you can make them as juices, or fruit tea, chamomile tea. Chamomile tea is also very good for ulcer. Chamomile, in fact, those that have issues with BP, those that have issues with stress, they stress themselves too much, they're having headaches, they can't sleep well. Chamomile tea actually works for that. So very, very good. Ginger tea too. Then there's tangerine peel tea. Tangerine peel. In fact, for fruit teas, it's very wide. Every part of a fruit is very, very important. Even including the peel of teas, the back of teas. Some of them are even more nutritious than the fruit itself.
You mean the back of fruit?
Yeah, actually very, yes.
Okay.
For example, the back of oranges is even more nutritious than orange itself. It's very, very nutritious. But many of us don't, so we discard it.
Yeah, we do.
And that orange, it may be the solution to the problem you even have in your health. Because it works for so many things. For those that cannot well, those that are stressed, those that have BP, those that have respiratory issues, those that want to boost their immune system, those that have cold, flu, so many things it does. A whole lot. That orange peel is one of is my best fruit tea because I take it almost every day.
Wow.
I take it very
is it like you buy orange every day?
Okay, the way I do it is I go fruit shopping. I can just buy like a bag of oranges.
Okay.
And whenever I take orange, I take like, if I like, I can take like 3 or 4 oranges. Then I keep the peel, keep them in the fridge. So whenever I do use it, I'll bring it out. One major thing I want to emphasize is when you are using the peel of any fruit, make sure, or leaves, make sure you wash it very well with baking soda.
Okay.
Washing with baking soda is because of pesticides. You don't know how they were grown. It's possible that the farmer was spraying pesticide on it. Yeah. You make sure you wash the back of the fruit. Wash it with baking soda. Some people soak it for like 10 minutes with the baking soda. Just leave it there for a while. Then you wash it off. Okay. So just wash it with baking soda. Then after you have finished washing it, put it on the fire, boil it. Most times I usually add ginger to my orange peel tea. I like to boil together.
And that's all.
So that's how I make my orange peel.
Yeah, that's all. You
allow it to boil for about 20 minutes. Yes, just orange and although it's quite bitter though. It's quite bitter. So if you have a sweet tooth and you don't like bitter things, you can add pineapple back to it.
Oh, okay. I do.
Pineapple is very sweet. So so you add the back of pineapple. Pineapple back too is also very, very good. In fact, those that have fertility issues, it does a lot. Plenty things. I won't be able to go into details, but it does a lot of things for you. Pineapple back, you can also add dates to it.
Yeah, okay.
Before it starts boiling, just put some dates inside water. I like to boil together. You can also do that, or after making tea, add honey to it.
Okay. Yeah.
So those are sweeteners. Also add dates now. So you can see you have different options. For those that have sweet tooth, there are many options.
I'm considering that, let me just try the orange. I have tried it before, but then not using orange in particular. I mixed it with other fruit, like other fruit hills. Then I boiled. I was about asking question. You made mention of aloe vera. So how can we add aloe vera to along with smoothie and not use? Aloe vera is very bitter. I think I've tried it.
Yes, it's bitter.
So how can someone add aloe vera smoothie? What fruits do you think would go along with aloe vera?
You can use apples. Okay. You can use cucumbers. You can use avocado. You can use all that. You can use banana too. Okay. But the ones that are sweet, because it's maybe you don't like bitter things, you can use red apples. Red apples are quite sweet. You can add that. You can even add it to it if you don't like the bitter taste. Add it to it.
All right. So with all the fruit smoothie and that you just mentioned, for a pregnant woman that has peptic ulcer, how can the person use all the fruit smoothie and that you mentioned?
Not all.
Okay.
Not all. In fact, if they are on any drug, that's number one. These fruits, many of them they operate like medicines. In fact, many of these medicines are extracted from fruits and vegetables. So there may be fruit-drug interaction. So if you're on any drug, you have to see your doctor or you see someone that is very knowledgeable in nutrition and fruit, basically, to find out, I'm taking this one. Can I take this fruit with this drug or not? Okay. So for pregnancy, for those that are pregnant, I don't advise taking ginger. Some people take ginger and they don't have it doesn't affect them. Some people take and it affects them. It's better to just avoid it. Ginger, garlic, those ones, stay out of it. Chamomile tea too, stay out of it. Don't take all those. But if you are pregnant, you can take umba. In fact, it's very good for pregnant. Avocado, lovely. Pregnant pear, banana, beetroot. In fact, those fruits are even not just good for the ulcer alone. To even help for the development of the child, to prevent some issues in pregnancy. Avocado, pear, beetroot, carrot, cucumber, red apples, bananas, very, very good. Spinach too, very good. You can even add bell peppers to your food. They are cooking. Some people even make it as small, put it in. They are making rice or any bell peppers, different bell peppers. Add them to your food too. Very, very good. Those are the fruits I would recommend for a woman that is pregnant.
Thank you so much for that. So now let's talk about the diet modification for those that have peptic ulcer. So what advice would you give as food therapist?
I've talked about water therapy before. Yeah. Making sure you take a lot of, I may emphasize some things I've said before in this diet modification, just for emphasis sake. The first one, I talked about water therapy, taking a lot of water, at at least 2.5 to 3 liters of water per day. Another thing is when you wake up in the morning, what you eat first matters a lot because that's the first thing you're introducing your body to. So the first thing you should take when you wake up basically is that you take fermented food. That's all these probiotics I mentioned, or water, either ways. But if you are taking probiotics, it's best you take it on empty stomach. If you want to take Greek yogurt, if you want to take soya kraut. Then another one I forgot to mention was plantain water therapy, unripe plantain.
Okay.
So what they basically is to cut it, you put it in a bowl, cut the unripe. After you have peeled the back, yes. After you have peeled the back, you cut the plantain, like allow you pour clean water into it, let it at least cover the top of the plantain, then you cover it, leave it for like 3 days. Allow it to ferment, leave it for like 3 days. Then after the 3 days, sieve it, put the water inside the bottle. Put the water inside, but then inside the fridge. Then you are trying to drink it. That's another way of preparing probiotics for yourself. Because fermenting food, so make sure the container is well covered. So you use a cheese to cover the top of the container. You can use a cheese cloth to cover it. You can do that.
So aside from the probiotic that the plantain water therapy does, what other benefits does it have? And what's the quantity of water that we have to keep in so that we will not just go and use overdose of the plantain water therapy?
First of all, you can use like three to 4 pieces of plantain. Just 3 or 4 pieces. Then you make sure the water is a little bit above the plantain. A little bit above the plantain, yes. So that's just it. Just make sure the water is just a little bit above it. So you can use like 3 to. So it depends on the bowl because it depends on the bowl. So yes. So just a little bit above.
Does it mean that somebody can just take it at once, like 500 mils, that's after the fermentation has taken place?
You can just pour like half of a cup, a tea cup, and take that in the morning. Half of a tea cup that in the morning. It's best taken on empty stomach, especially when you just wake up in the morning. So the one you prepare for even about 7 days thereabout. Another thing it does, it can help for BP, those that have constipation, they found it hard to go to the toilet for a long time. Basically, everything that affects the digestive system, it can actually help for those things because when you are providing your body with good bacteria that will help to fight bad bacteria, anything that is affecting the digestive system can, gradually be the body will be well equipped to fight it. That's what probiotic does. So I've talked about probiotics, taking it on empty stomach, after at least 1 hour. From then you can start taking water, preferably warm water, convenient for you, baby. At least take up to 2.5 to 3 liters of water every day. Very, very important. Yeah. So another thing is talked about taking fruit blend. I've listed that fruits already, whether either as smoothies or juices. I've also emphasized taking juices at night. It's better to take juices instead of smoothies at night. So that's also that. Then some things to add your diet too. Vegetables, a lot of green vegetables that help. I've mentioned kale and spinach before. Okra, all those foods also help. Yes, green vegetables also help. Unripe plantain, not as probiotic now, like eating unripe plantain is also very good for the stomach. Taking nuts, different kind of nuts, cashew nuts, walnut, yes, all those nuts are also very good. I saw a video of someone that air-fried chicken. Air-fried, that's the person did not need to put oil at all. Oil of the chicken came out and she was showing us that the amount of water that this chicken contains. So imagine for those that even fry those, chicken and meat and turkey, imagine the amount of oil and fat the chicken or turkey contains, and you're not frying it again, adding more. A whole lot of oil you're pumping your body with, which is not good for you. That's where many problems, health issues starts from. That's why one of the things we usually tell people when you want to use natural remedy to improve your health. One of the things is tell them not to take meat. Yes, junks too, for meat and chicken, because there's a lot of fat. Fat alone, fat and oil, unwanted fat and oil cause a lot of issues. Causes inflammation in the body. By the time that inflammation gives birth to a lot of diseases, cancer, a lot of things. So we prefer fish. Fish is very good. Sweet potatoes too is also very good for you to add to your diet. Very, very good. Then another thing we emphasize is avoiding citrus fruit. Why? Because many of them are quite acidic, so they trigger the ulcer pain. Imagine, for example, when you have a wound and you now pour acid on that wound again. you know how painful it will be. So that's how it is. So basically, pineapple, lime, lemon. Some people that have ulcer take oranges. If the ulcer is mild, some people take oranges. So, but pineapple, pineapple, lime, lemon is not advisable. And then also avoiding oily, fatty, spicy foods. So basically, foods that you like being fried, better you boil them. Just avoiding oil and some spices, especially pepper. So because all those things trigger ulcer. There's a myth about ulcer that when you take milk, you get ulcer.
It relieves the pain.
It's actually not true. Yes, it sometimes it gives temporary relief to the ulcer, but it actually causes more harm than good in the long run. It actually causes more harm than good. So we usually advise that even if you want to take milk, use plant-based milk. Plant-based milk like coconut milk, cashew nut milk, tiger nut milk. You understand? So because taking all this milk, they actually make the matter worse. It will just give like a temporary relief, but it's not actually treating the main cause issue. It's actually making it worse. So that's what it does. Milk, sugar too. In fact, if you want to place your natural any fruit plant, usually tell people no for sugar. There are a whole lot of natural replacements for sugar. A whole lot. Some of them are even sweeter than sugar, and they do a lot to your body.
That's true.
Have a lot of nutritional value. I've mentioned honey before. Dates. There's even dates powder. The date is dried and grounded, so you just put it like sugar, and it's very sweet. It's very good. Both those that are pregnant, even as a pregnant woman, it's very, very. This is one fruit I recommend, especially during the third trimester. I recommend for pregnant women. Third trimester, especially when they're getting close to 36 weeks. It's not usually advised at the early stage of pregnancy, but from 36 weeks, taking dates is very, very good for pregnant women. So dates, honey. There's something that is called stevia. Stevia is also very, very good. It's like a leaf that is being grounded, and it's even sweeter than sugar.
Wow.
And it has a lot of nutritional value. But many people don't know all these things. But it's very, very good. So taking all those ones are better than taking sugar. Then also avoiding alcohol, smoking, avoiding caffeine. Very, very important. People that take coffee, usually advise them not to take coffee. Very, very important. Carbonated drinks, junks too. Carbonated drinks, junks, bread. Bread is also part of it. Why? Because it's made up of flour, sugar, cake, all those things in the family of junk. Yes, you should. If you can, even if you cannot stop them abruptly, at least try to start limiting their consumption gradually. As time goes on, you will find out that you get used to not eating them anymore.
That's true.
Find the natural replacement or substitutes for them. You will now prefer the natural stuff, because by the time you start taking those natural things, you will see the way you feel. You feel different. You feel more alive. You feel more energetic. Then another thing is, this one may be quite hard for people that in Nigeria. God will help us. Eating late at night. Very, very important. But the problem now is many people come back from work 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and you have to take dinner. In fact, some people might have not even eaten well during the day. It just be that night that they have time to eat. But that eating late at night can actually cause ulcer. It can cause a whole lot of issues, health issues. Basically.
Eating late and stay straight on the bed just after a few minutes after eating.
Yes, because most times, imagine you just come back from work, you've taken a whole bowl of a bath. Definitely you'll be knocked out because you're tired. Your body will need to rest. Even digest the food. By the time you now wake up in the morning, you're feeling very tired because the digestion system was working overnight.
That's true.
So, so basically, taking fruit at night can help. Especially fruit juices. If you can plan to eat more heavy meals during the afternoon, probably taking food to work, you can eat that in the night. You take lighter food, or you just take fruit juices.
That's what I do most times, because I come back from work very late, sometimes around 10 or half 10 or or a few minutes time. So the moment I know that so I am already going. I'm going to get home late. What I do is in the I tend to eat around 6 o'clock before leaving my workplace. Then at night I eat fruits. Like no matter what. Sometimes I don't even eat fruits. I just take water and then sleep like that till the next morning. So the next morning I will sort myself out and maybe eat something heavy again. But that does not mean. So if people can actually be doing that. So if people can just plan themselves, okay, so I'm going to get home late. I need to plan my meal. I need to plan my diet. So that's just it. It's about planning and determination.
Yes, very, very true. Planning and determination is very important. So basically, I usually it's best for you to eat your last meal at least 3 hours before you sleep. At least so that the food would have digested to an extent. Not immediately after you eat, you go and sleep. Another thing is taking water. Some people take, as they are eating, they are drinking water. As they are eating, they are drinking water. That is not actually good. Why? Because as you are eating, the gastric acid in your stomach is acting on the food. When you are drinking water, you're actually diluting the acid. Because for those that are science students, you know that when you add water to acid, you have diluted the acid. It's not as concentrated as before. So when you are eating and you are drinking water, the acid that is meant to act on that food, you are diluting it. So the body will need to. That's why you see sometimes you see some people, they start having bloated stomach because the food did not digest well, you know. It could cause a whole lot of issues. It's really advisable. If you want to drink water, try to drink water before meal. And even if you because sometimes taking sips of water during meal is unavoidable. So even if you are going to take it, just don't take too much. Just take little. But ideally, it's advisable not to take water during meal. So if you want to take it about 20-30 minutes before meal or 2 hours after meal. That's the ideal. Even if you want to take water along that time, it shouldn't be much. Just let it be as minimal as possible. Then also engaging in exercises. Exercise does a lot for us. You may not even be aware. So it's very, very important. You can exercise at least. You can, in fact, if exercise is very hard for you, start with 5 minutes per day. As low as 5 minutes. That 5 minutes can do a lot for you. And gradually can increase it to 10 minutes. A week after, I can say, okay, I want to increase it to 10 minutes. Gradually. Before you know it, your body is already getting used to exercise. After a while, increase it to another 15 minutes. So even if because many times when people want to exercise, they want to go for 1 hour at a go. And you may not have all that time. One thing I want to emphasize is blood group plays a major role in nutrition. Why? Because for those that are O positive, they have more gastric acid compared to those that have A, B, and B. There's something we call blood group diet. So we prescribe your food based on your blood group. So that's why one person can eat a particular food, 2 people can be in a house, one person will eat a particular food, and the person will be fine. Another person will eat that same particular food, and the person will start having indigestion, you know, and start having bloating, or the person may be having constipation and all that. Husband and wife said maybe even both of them will eat the same food, and one person will be having issues and the other person is not. Why? Blood group most times. Blood group, very important. If you have blood group A, B, and B, usually advise that you take more plant-based foods. Why? You don't have a lot of gastric acid compared to someone that is blood group O. Someone that is blood group O can eat particular food and there's enough gastric acid to break the food down. But someone that does not have enough gastric acid, the person can start having indigestion, you know, bloating. The person may be so uncomfortable. So we usually advise that our blood group A, B, and B try to take more of plant-based foods that will not require so much, that will not stress your body too much to digest. That's why you see that some people don't eat beans and they start having heartburn, they just start having stomach. That's why some people don't even eat beans at all. Because meat, you need a lot of gastric acid to break it down. So you don't even know that's why your body, you may not know that's why your body is reacting that way. You may not even know. So you have to find out what foods are my body reactive to. Whenever I take this food, you just study your system. When I take this food, my body does not like it. Try to avoid it. Even some fruits self, yes. So for those, just have that at the back of your mind. If you are blood group A, blood group B, or AB, you don't have as much gastric acid as those with blood group O. So try to avoid foods that will require too much digestion digestion that will require enough gastric acid to break down. That is also very, very important. That's all for modification.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. Yes, so the special gift I said I wanted is an ebook. So the ebook is all about free guide on how to blend or make healthy juice and smoothie. Yes, I understand the pain and the issue. Most people reach out to me and say that fruit and vegetable are actually very expensive, time consuming and all sorts. So I decided to create an ebook. It's more or less like a guide on how to make healthy juice. Yes, so if you want to move into the healthy gang idea, just go straight to my page, that's the social media page. You see a link there. On the link, you can download the free ebook. And aside that, you can also send a DM, send a message to me, or drop a voice note, or probably go to my social media page. On Instagram, it is Sarah Shobbs, and on LinkedIn, it is Sarah Shobola. On Facebook, it's Sarah Bolaji Shobola. You reach out to me and say that you want the free ebook. I will send the link to you for you to download the free ebook. Yes. So orange is actually season right now. So are you making use of the season, of the opportunity you have? Orange has lots of health benefits, and also Esther also explain how you can make orange peel tea. It's important. You can check up for the other health benefits of orange peel tea. Make use of the opportunity you have. Buy fruit that are trending, fruit that are in season. Yes, corn is in season, pear is in season, walnut is in season. Make sure you buy something that are in season. Don't look for something very expensive before you know that you are eating healthy. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. Please do share this podcast with your friends. Drop a voice note. You can also decide to sponsor this episode too. Then you can also run an ad. Don't forget to also follow me on my social media page. I come up with a lot of content because it's not all the time I come on my podcast, but I show up almost every day on my page. That's LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. I show up almost every day. So please don't forget to share this podcast. Thank you for listening. See you in the next episode. Bye.